First things first, this is not actually my replay. This is clanmate's BFK for Life's replay. He streams on Twitch. I'll leave a link down in the description. He is a very, very good player and is incredibly good at farming high damage games, as this one will clearly show you. The Smolensk has been in the game for a little while now, and it was taken away from sale. They say because it was too popular, but I truly believe it's because it was overpowered. And they haven't really nerfed it, which is kind of surprising. So you can get some insane damage out of this ship. It is an incredible battleship, heavy cruiser farmer. It is crazy good. The fires per minute, it's just incredible. If you don't know what this ship is, it's essentially 16 Grozavoy guns that reload every, like 4 seconds or so? Maybe even less with his build. It's absolutely insane. And the fire chance is like through the roof too. So this ship is nuts. It gets a smoke screen. And of course, you have essentially no armor. But that's actually a good thing in World of Warships these days, because people just tend to overpen you. You'll see that later on. And it's kind of sad that that's the case. The best way to tank in this ship is actually to just go broadside to battleships, because they can't. Their shells will not arm when they go into your ship. They'll just fly straight through and overpen. It's horrible game design in my opinion, but for those playing this ship, it's how you should be probably tanking a battleship salvo. As soon as you angle, you get overmatched, and then the shells can arm, and then you can get dove struck. The ship, though, with the captain skills changes, is actually getting nerfed, which is incredible, because cruisers will no longer have access to BFT or AFT. That means a 10% reload nerf because of BFT, and then it's actually a further 12% reload nerf because AFT means no AFT means that you actually can't slot reload mod in your upgrades, because you only have 13 kilometers of range, which is nowhere near enough at tier 10. So you'll be forced to run range mod. So essentially this ship is getting a 22% DPM nerf come the new captain changes, and it'll still be really, really, really good. You can see he's already at 100k and he's hardly been shooting anybody yet. It's crazy. This ship is nuts. So I'm pretty happy about this change. If you have this ship and you want to go for some damage records, or you want to try and leaderboard this ship, definitely do it before the patch drops, because I don't think there's any way you can overcome a 22% DPM nerf. I think it's a 0.6 kilometer range nerf too. AFT gives slightly more range than range mod in the upgrade slot, as well as Demolition Expert no longer does 2%, it does 1% in the new captain changes. So small nerfs here and there, but they'll add up. Sure, in the new captain changes, there is the HE shells deal 10% more damage, AP shells deal 7% more damage, I believe. But the whole point of this ship, and the reason it is so feared as a battleship player, is the fires and the damage per minute that the fires do. So your ability to deal a bit more damage with your HE shells is not as significant as the number of fires and that you'll be getting. It's a big change. It will be a big change. You can see just how many shells he's shattering, shooting at these battleships, right? He's nearly up to 100 shatters. But he does have 136 right now penetration. So it's a little more than 50-50. And that is good, but that's why I believe the alpha change of the HE shells and the AP shells is not going to make up for the big nerf that is just raw DPM, raw reload changes. So I'm happy about this. I really am. It's a good change that's been needed for a long time. The ship should have been nerfed instead of just taken away from sale. I'm not sure why Wargaming is so hesitant to just balance their game. I'm sure a lot of you saw my CV video, and I just truly can't understand why Wargaming wouldn't want to have a balanced game. It's really weird to me, because if you can balance a game properly, you're going to have people playing the game more and for longer, and likely those people are going to spend more money on the game because they like playing the game. It's, I don't know. Maybe I just don't get the finer points of game balance, but it's kind of weird to me. It makes more sense that you would want more people playing for longer periods of time in your game to hopefully spend more money. But regardless, if you're wanting to know how to farm people, let's talk about that a little bit. Obviously, he has a div mate here with a Fletcher, so I mean this ship can be constantly smoked up. That's the way to do it with this thing. You div with a American destroyer who can spot for you, and then you just sit and smoke and farm. Up to 225,000 damage now. Pretty incredible. This thing is nasty for an enemy team to deal with. And if you're solo, basically you're just going to want to find yourself on a flank where the enemy team is pushing. You can see the enemy team had a strong presence on the A-cap comparatively to BFK's team here. And that's really good. As a farmer, that's where you want to be, because people pushing in are far easier to deal damage to you. And of course, the more they push in, the more accurate you can be, the closer they get, all that stuff. And likely spotted too. Your team will likely be spotting people that are pushing into caps, all that stuff. You never really want to be chasing damage in a farming ship like a Smolensk, for example. It's not going to be very effective, and you're going to get frustrated, and you're likely going to die if you're trying to chase into multiple battleships and cruisers. Sometimes you have to do it because there just is no damage left on the field, but you're ideally looking for situations like this, where people are pushing in and you can just spam them with HE and fires as they push in. That's kind of the whole way you should be playing this ship if you're going for damage numbers. Now, if you're going for win rate, I would say you probably want to push aggressively towards capture zones with your DDs, and then just try and kill a DD at the start, and then just go hunt DDs and control capture zones. That's what you should do if you want win rate, but clearly BFK is going for damage numbers here. And that's what a lot of people do. Winning in random battles is not bad, but I mean, we play competitive and clan battles and Kings of the Sea stuff to win. Random battles is more of the farming and just trying to have a good time, that kind of thing. It's a little more relaxed, I would say. Now, I think you've seen it. I didn't actually mention it when it was happening, but the AP on this ship is disgusting. If you didn't see it, maybe go back to when he was farming out at Georgia that was crossing his screen that was broadside. He was getting like 6 to 8k salvos with AP. So the ability to hit someone that hard with AP this often is actually crazy. I think that's a strength that BFK has. He knows what shell to use in what situation. I think a lot of people just tend to spam HE from these ships, assuming that's going to be the best way to get damage, but that is not the case, and he does a great job of showing when you should be switching to AP. You know what? Perfect timing. Here he is, switching to AP when the cruiser goes broadside. And likely, he's going to get a lot more damage than he would out of HE. And there you go. He's got a Kraken already. And there's plenty more damage on the field to go. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it takes to get a 400,000 damage game. And it's a lot of luck, okay? You have to be very good at the game and very good at controlling the game. There's a lot of skill involved in that. Making sure neither team wins too quickly. But it really does take your team to be very bad and the enemy team to be very bad to get 400k. Essentially, you just need your team to not die too quickly and the enemy team to not get killed very quickly, so that you just get a chance to farm all of these ships out. You can see that he's done massive damage to all of their battleships. It's actually crazy. And getting the last couple of DDs out would be very helpful, so he's going to go after the Venom here. You can see the dispersion's actually not that favorable sometimes with this ship. It is more suited to farming out battleships, because that dispersion, while really good against a battleship superstructure, a Balon DD at these ranges can be difficult to capture. I don't know how he got so fortunate to get all of these battleships running into him like this, but I was watching his stream when this game was going on, and I was just laughing because it's incredible to have a near 300k game and the game not be won or over, right? That's just crazy to me. And so you can see even against cruisers, this ship can be quite nasty, just because of the sheer volume of firepower. Fortunately, they don't have any radars. There's nothing really to kill him here, so he can play this however he wants to, essentially, and he can just kind of win. His div mate is doing a great job of spotting, although you'll see later on that he actually ends up taking some damage away from him. But still a great game. Still a great game. So with his smoke running out, now he's going to have to run a little bit away from these battleships. But another strength of the Smolensk is that it has really, really good concealment. Now there's a carrier spotting him, so that's not the best news. But here you go. Broadside on, and overpens. That is why this ship is one of my most hated ships to fight against, because you can catch it out like that, and it's not really that big of a deal for the Smolensk. It really isn't. They just kind of like, okay, I'll take a few overpens, that's fine. Now let me farm you. Double fire already. And surprisingly, he's only got a Witherer now, which is actually shocking, but that tells you how much he's been using AP. And in fact, if you look at the shell count, he's up well over 1,200 shells at this point, which is crazy. 6 kills. This has got to be one of the craziest games I've seen in World of Warships. This just doesn't happen. I've seen some crazy stuff like this on, like, maybe some World of Tanks games where you get to kill the whole enemy team at lower tiers, that kind of thing, but this is crazy to me, this amount of damage in that. Because usually your team is competent enough to kill and damage some people, but this is like nearly full HP Soviet Russia, whatever that is. Basically a Sovietsky Soyuz with American dispersion formula. And a near full HP North Carolina. It's crazy. It's crazy that that is the end of this game is so much damage yet. So yeah, lots of skill involved with a game like this, but it also takes some luck with getting the right kind of matchmaker. If you're wanting to do something like this yourself, it does require a lot of patience. 400,000 damage is crazy, right? Considering most games these days have around 600,000 HP in tier 10 games. So you're getting like 2/3 of all the damage on the field. That's insane, right? So you got to remember that it is a lot of luck, and it will take a lot of time. My friend Maltese Knight is actually trying to get his first 400k game, playing ships like this or other ships, and trying to do this, and and he still hasn't gotten it, and it is hard. You got to be really, really, really lucky. And if you want to, you can go check out on my channel. I do have an Ohio game where I got over 400,000 damage somehow. And again, it's a lot of luck. But here you see, the Kaga ended up being around half HP. The Fletcher actually did quite a bit of damage to him before BFK got here. But that's okay. Still a massive, massive game. As you can see, basically 440,000 damage, 9 kills, Witherer, Confederate, high caliber, insane. 3.4k base, that's mainly because he farmed battleships. It would have been higher if it would have been other targets, but still a crazy, crazy game from BFK. So as a reminder, I'll leave a link down below for his channel. Go check him out on Twitch. He's a really, really good player, and these days he's been doing a lot of streams where he teaches and goes over his thought process. It's really cool, so go check him out. Thanks for watching, guys.